On today's show, a prototype lamp that could make you money in the future, a really awesome little tiny glider that might make its way to Mars,
and a little friend for you to help you make mixed drinks. And it's not a little person.
Oh, that sounds delightful. It's Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily, the best geek talk show in the known universe. I'm Ashley Skella. Joining me as always, Khail Anonymous.
Can you imagine a Lilliputian that like makes little
Polly
mixed
Pocket?
drinks?
A little Polly Pocket bar?
Polly Pockets aren't like real, you know.
What do you mean they're not real?
Maybe
They're
in
real
your
in my
head.
heart. They're real in my
You've
heart.
got Polly Pockets in your heart?
They fit. Let's
So
hit
let's hit those headlines. You know, I've done that conversation, like I made a big mistake. I'm like, yeah, so this conversation's gonna get weird. Let's hit those headlines.
Let's hit those. I
And
just
then
interrupt
run.
people in real life now with let's hit those headlines.
Okay.
I think you guys can also start doing that. If you film it and you send it to us, I'll totally put it on the show. If you're in the middle of an awkward conversation, it gets weird, and you just say let's hit those headlines and run away, I'll put it on the show. Okay, let's talk about planes on Mars. This is really, really cool. So a couple years ago, there were some engineering interns at NASA. And they, even though they were just interns, created an idea that may actually make it to Mars at some point in the next 10 years, which is pretty rad. So they have an idea for an aircraft that would fly over the top of the surface of the planet and would take really high-res pictures. So this is called the Prandtl-M craft. Hopefully, Prandtl? It's really ridiculously difficult to pronounce. Prandtl-M. So this is the M version of the craft. It's a prototype based on a D model that was an RC glider designed by the students a few years ago when they were interns. So this prototype is going to launch later this year. It's going to go, it's going to hit the sky from a high altitude balloon that'll be about 10,000 feet up, which is similar to Mars's atmosphere. So that's why they have to take it up so high in the air. And this is some of the pictures of that glider. And at some point, the goal is they want to figure out how to give this really awesome looking glider foldable wings so that they can pack it up into a little tiny CubeSat, which is those little cube satellites, and then attach it to a future Mars rover and send it. Like basically it would kind of hitch a ride with a Mars rover and head over to Mars and then unpack itself and start flying around, which is pretty cool. But the glider design allows it to take off and land without any, it doesn't need like a runway. It doesn't need like, you can actually do a lot more with this glider idea than you can with a traditional sort of airplane model. But it's pretty cool, and I love that interns designed this, and NASA seems pretty keen on it, which is pretty cool. They hope that they can get this thing to Mars by 2024. They were saying between 2022 and 2024, but that's less than 10 years away. So, which is still pretty great, and they're building, you know, I'm sure the next round of rovers and other things that are going to be heading to Mars. So that takes time, and so hopefully this will be one of the next things we'll kind of see hit up Mars, which is pretty cool.
Where do the pictures go? Who gets the pictures?
NASA. So it would be a NASA project,
okay.
And then they would send the picture back, kind of like, you know, Hubble. You can go to NASA's website and look at these like amazing high-res images that the Hubble telescope is taking. I would imagine be able to do the same thing for this. But it's pretty awesome, and I really like that it came from a bunch of interns who were just like, you know what? I'm gonna make a glider and go to Mars.
Yeah, get it together, NASA. Kids are doing it for you. That's pretty cool. I like that. I'd love to see some high-res photos of Mars. I think we all would.
Yeah, and I think NASA really wants it for, you know, to have a fully high-res mapped image of the entire planet, which obviously would be very, very helpful.
Cool.
Yeah. So what's this little bartender?
If you're like me, you like to party at home alone and you suck at making mixed drinks.
Oh, me too. That makes two of us.
Super sad. But anyway, so there is an answer for those of you that have that same exact issue. This is the Bartesian. Now, you've heard of the Keurig, where you just kind of pop in a little tiny thing in there and it makes your coffee for you. You just hit a button and it makes your coffee.
I have one.
Well, check this out. This one's for your alcohol, and you can make mixed drinks. You make margaritas. There's just a whole bunch of, you know, like cosmopolitans and stuff like that. Basically, what you do is you pop in a cartridge and then you add the type of alcohol you like. So it's like vodka, rum, tequila, gin. Then you hit a button and boom, you get your alcohol. What's great is you can also choose the strength. Watch how funny this guy is. He's putting the strength up.
He's intense.
It's a really funny
That's an intense
video,
drink.
but this is a Kickstarter, so it's not exactly out yet. They want $100,000
This looks
to
like a
make
science
these things. They have just under $90,000, so you have 2 weeks to back it. If you do the early bird, it's too late. It's sold out. So you'll have to pay $300 for the Bartesian. It delivers in April of next year. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. You know,
I like this idea.
It's pretty neat. So $300, and you can just have your mixed drinks. You can invite your friends over, and they can probably abuse the thing.
Yeah, probably.
But I like that you can change the alcohol. So there you go, Bartesian.
Yeah, it looks like a science project on the sides where it has like the tequila, like it has the 4 different like reservoirs for tequila and rum and vodka and gin. Like that's kind of crazy. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like you would say, like if you're making your Keurig and you're like, man, I wish I had this for like bartending, like at night when people come over. Because I know it, like as a kind of sideways example, like sort of similar example, when my family comes over for Christmas, everybody wants something different. Like I've got cousins who want hot chocolate, and I want, my grandparents want decaf, like they don't want caffeinated coffee, and then my parents want like flavored coffee, and then I have chai tea, and it's so many different things. It's real easy to use a Keurig because then you just pop in the little thing, you put in whatever coffee you want or whatever, and then it makes it for you as a single thing. So I have a lot of friends who are like that with alcohol too, who are like, one likes martinis, the other one likes this, the other one likes this. So this is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like it. Very cool.
Not terribly expensive.
But that brings us to our hashtag of the day.
TD make me.
No, I got this.
You got this? Okay, go
TD
ahead.
Makami. So it's TD make me. So
My mistake.
what household, this is for you, what household appliance would you create, and what would you do or make, what would it do or make for you? So what household appliance would you create, and what would it do or make for you? I want that pizza making machine from Back to the Future 2. They open up a little tiny packet. I don't know if you guys remember, they open up a little tiny packet and they put it in this little machine. They close the thing, hit the button, and then it dings, and then they open it up, and instantly the pizza's like the size of a full pizza.
That sounds pretty good. I would want a robot that cracked and opened up my crab legs, like king crab legs. Just throw in a bunch of crab legs.
You are rich.
No.
You want a robot to help
Listen.
you with your crab legs.
Yeah, you throw in the crab legs and it breaks it perfectly for you. You don't have to get all messy and stuff. And then like all of a sudden there's just like a little bowl at the bottom, and it just drops out your perfectly shaped crab, fresh crab, and you just eat it. You don't have to deal with all the legs and crack and all that stuff. No, give me a robot to do that for me.
That's super first world problem.
It is listen.
That's
okay, okay, dehydrated pizza. You're like, I would like dehydrated pizza.
I want Back to the Future technology. That's what I'm saying. Plus,
Who's to say that the crab
Hut.
cracking robot isn't in Back to the Future, just not depicted on screen? Who's to say?
That's
Kale?
true. Your
Who's
fan
to say?
fiction is completely on point.
It could be
I'll give
accurate.
you
Listen,
that.
I'm gonna call Robert Zemeckis. We're gonna get this all hammered out, and he's gonna officially announce that there was in fact a robot that was made just for cracking crab legs in Back to the Future. We just didn't see it on screen.
Yo, you gotta stop calling Robert Zemeckis. He's got stuff to do.
He does seem a little bit busy. He keeps telling me like he's washing his hair all the time, and I don't think that's true. But can I tell you about a lamp that might make you some money?
Yeah.
So you can afford your dehydrated pizza maker? You can invent it?
Yes.
It's pretty good. Okay. So I love this idea so much, and I hope it happens because it seems really cool. This is called the aspirational lamp. And the idea behind this lamp, it's an AI-controlled lamp with its own agenda. It has an agenda. You put it on your desk, and it has a solar panel on it, and it also has a battery pack. And when the light comes on in the morning, like let's say sun comes up, it will collect energy. So not only is the lamp, obviously usable as a lamp, but over the course of the day when you're not using the lamp, it's collecting energy. And the idea is, this is just a concept thus far, but the idea is that it would store that energy and then sell it back to the grid for a small amount of money, or however much money that it could get you. And then it would automatically invest that small amount of money in the stock market. Okay, wait, there's more, Kale. But wait, there's more. So it would earn enough money over time to pay for its own repairs or extra parts. And on top of that, it would, if it breaks or you just decide like I'm done with this lamp, you would email the company and be like, hey, it broke or whatever, and then they would cut you a check for whatever the balance the lamp had available to it. Like whatever that was, it would just cut you a check. So yeah, that's the idea behind this lamp, is that someday, this is a speculative scenario. Apparently it's very complex to actually sell energy back to the grid. It's a thing, that is an existing thing you can do, but it's not really easy to do in a way that a simple lamp could do it. But the idea is that it would, checking stock prices, and it would be like, oh, I'm going to invest in this stock or whatever. Like, I'm going to sell my stocks, or it would buy and sell stocks, and it would make you money. So, this lamp has its own agenda. So there you go. A lamp that makes money by selling energy to the grid and then invests that money in the stock market for you without you having to do anything. Totally speculative, not coming to market, not even a working prototype, just an idea.
How?
But I love it.
High was the guy that came up with this.
So he had too many Bartesian
Oh my
cocktails.
God. But first of all, this is I love this idea.
I love it, but it's
I love
nuts.
the idea that you go bankrupt because your light is like...
No, it's only what the light makes.
I know, but in my mind, at some point, it
dipping into your
starts
bank
tapping
account.
into your bank
It's
account.
just like people with gambling problems. They start going to your ATM, start pulling out your life savings fund, and then one day you show up and you turn your lamp on, it won't turn on. It's like, I'm sorry, I spent everything.
Like mobsters show up at your door and break your lamp's legs.
Break your lamp's legs. Perfect.
This is super cool. So how do you get it?
It's completely
Concept.
speculative concept design. Like I said, apparently it's very difficult to actually sell energy back to the grid at this time. So something like this AI-controlled lamp can't do it now. But again, like speculative, I love that kind of stuff because it could happen. And in 5 years, this could be a very real reality, and we could have furniture that collects energy for us and sells it back to the grid, and then invests it for us, which is kind of insane. But I really love the idea. It's just so crazy that it might work. It's one of those things where I saw it and I'm like, this is absolutely bonkers, but I feel like maybe someday it could work. Maybe. It's a pretty good idea.
I love it. That's cool.
Totally love it. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. Since I was not here yesterday, since we were all not here yesterday, we're going to do new releases so that you know what you can spend your money on. And of course, we have your user feedback from way back last week on Thursday and our photographer of the day. So don't click away. It's Tomorrow Daily.
Oh yeah.
Look closer.
How about that?
All right, guys, it is Tuesday. Just kidding, it's Wednesday. I always want to say it's Tuesday because that's when we usually do this segment, but I was sick yesterday, so we did not have a show. So it's Tuesday. Let's talk about new releases. Well, first up, we have a movie that I am actually not hearing great things about, but
Is it Paul Blart 3?
coming soon to a theater near you, but not this weekend. It's Terminator Genesis. Man, I gotta say, like, Terminator Genesis, I'm a little concerned because I'm hearing not so great things. In fact, I think our reviewer on CNET said something along the lines of, like, Terminator Genesis doesn't know when to stop, even when it's really bad for it, or something like that. It was just really...
I'm actually going to see this tonight.
Are you?
Yeah, at 8 o'clock.
What do you think you're gonna like it?
Well, I'm a huge Terminator fan, and I have been. It's like a really bad relationship that I have, and I can't give her up. Like that's my relationship with Terminator. It's dragged me through this mud so many times. Yeah, the reviews that I've said, and this will help you gauge it, is that it goes Terminator 2 is the best, Terminator 1, then Terminator 3, and then this one.
But what about Salvation?
And then Salvation.
Oh, and then Salvation. Oh boy.
So this is better than Salvation.
But it's not the worst Terminator movie ever made. So it has that going for it.
Yeah. Well, people are saying that it also homages a lot of the past Terminators a lot, which is cool, but also they're saying it's really cheap. And not,
I see.
It's like they're not constructing a story. They're just like banking on your nostalgia. So, but Khaleesi, come on, Khaleesi.
I know, it's the Khaleesi. She's playing. Man, I'm bummed that this isn't getting great reviews.
Do you see how sad of a Terminator fan I am that I'm still gonna go see it opening night?
I know. Well, I'm impressed. I mean,
Wah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger thanks you. Would give you a hug if he was here.
Thank you, Kyle. Wow, that's bad.
That was really amazing.
Really bad.
Going from a movie I probably won't see this weekend to one that I'll probably see on HBO, but I don't have any need to go to a theater and see, is Magic Mike XXL. They're saying it might beat Terminator this weekend. But here's the thing, so...
Channing Tatum's butt's gonna beat Terminator?
Well,
Nice.
when doesn't it beat the Terminator? So let's talk about this really quickly because I really liked... I didn't see Magic Mike until it was on, I think, like, HBO. I think I just caught it on TV, and I was like, actually, this was, like, really hugely entertaining. Like, McConaughey was so funny in it, and, like, Channing Tatum is so freaking likable. So Joe Manganiello is, like... talking to Paul F. Tompkins about this movie, and he was saying, like, we realized while we were making the first one that really that extra story with, like, the girl and the furniture making, it didn't matter. It was all about the guys. Like, that was the real core of the story, and so they took those guys and they, like, did, I guess maybe it's like a road trip movie, I think. So I'm really looking forward to this just because it's for the same reason I read Playboy for the articles. I'm going to enjoy this fun romp. A road trip movie with a bunch of dudes without shirts on.
Here's what I'm hearing. You're trying to validate the reason you're going to see this movie.
There's no validation for this. I'm just gonna see it because I like dance movies. I'll fully admit it. I like cheesy dance movies and things like, I love all that stuff. Like,
just say that you think that the guys are hot.
I don't. None of them are really my type. None of them are really my type. I
What's
don't
your
like
type?
that look. I don't like that big beefcakey look. I like more of like a swimmer, a basketball player, like lean. I don't like that big.
Fair enough.
Like if your body is the shape of a reverse V, like a V shape, I don't care for that.
Yeah,
like,
get out of
America,
here.
Get out of here.
Go away, ugly.
Captain America, not so much.
Thor?
Too built. Thor, into a little bit too big. In the last couple movies, they've all gotten so much bigger.
So that brings us to our TD of the day. What kind of guy is your
TD
kind
type.
of guy?
TD type. No.
TD.
So Magic Mike XXL.
TD bros.
TD bros.
What kind of bro is your kind of bro? You
So,
know what? I
I'll go see it.
haven't seen any Magic Mikes. I feel like I need to see one Magic Mike.
It looks
and
really
I feel
fun.
Like, I
It
feel
looks
like
funny.
the first one, I feel like they maybe ironed out the kinks. I have no desire
Go
to
see
these
this movie.
dudes.
Go see it.
But I know that it's so tongue-in-cheek that it'll
Exactly.
be fun.
That's what I
Logan,
wanna see.
are you ever going to watch Magic Mike XXL?
I'm in for the second one.
Yes.
I told you. I
I
told
love
you.
it. In for the two. In for the two. You even dropped your phone. You're so excited. Okay.
Maybe I'll pick up some moves too.
Might be a good thing. Might be a good thing. Is all I'm
Okay,
saying.
all
Pick
right.
up some dance moves. Go see Magic Mike. Have a little fun. Drink from your Bartesian before you go. All right. Last thing we got to talk about, which we have all been discussing, including producer Logan all day, is Apple Music / Beats One Radio went live yesterday.
Ooh.
That's a new release if you're on iOS
This is
or
a
OS
fun
10.
one to talk about. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Let's discuss. So.
Quickly though.
Very quickly, little rocky. There's some problems, some glitches, things like that. But overall, a very good reception. People have been really enjoying it. And the one thing, the quote that I saw on Twitter that I wanted to bring up to you and hear your opinion on is we always joke about Apple inventing stuff. Apple acting like they invented radio for this, but the reality is that for a lot of younger people, Apple just reinvented radio, like because these are people who have never really experienced radio, like in this way. Mm-hmm. And I thought you and Khail, especially being really big music fans, like what your opinion on that would be.
And look, this is really just my opinion, but I like I told you guys earlier, I think that's a stupid concept because
Fair.
There's been Sirius radio. Like, I mean, you think about it, you go into like a grocery store, that's a radio type station from like the internet. It's a Sirius radio station
Right.
that these places play.
But not a dedicated station where those kids know the DJs' names, their personalities attached to these sort of blocks of programming and stuff like that. Like,
That's only
ambient
because
music.
That's only because the offerings have been so vast
Okay.
and not honed in. And just because they're offering one radio station, they can have all the focus on this one thing. Don't get me
Right.
wrong, I love Beats One Radio.
Yeah.
I think it's great. But I'm not like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like they've nailed it. They've really made one station that kicks a lot of butt. But they didn't invent the wheel.
right.
But again,
and that's fair.
really
That's
cool.
fair.
I've been kind of like on the Spotify bandwagon. If you've watched other things, I've been on the Spotify. I love Spotify, even though the UI is kind of weird. I think there's a few stumbles when it comes to Apple Music, but they've got 3 months. I'm not about to excuse them. They're Apple.
They have 3 months to fix a lot of the issues.
Apple, they should have kind of like came out of the gate, but there's a little bit of like extra maneuverability. It's not as streamlined and as quick as Spotify is, but it's good.
And a lot of people the big complaint is you can't move your Spotify playlist. You can't import them directly into Apple Music.
Well, that wouldn't make any sense.
Well, potentially. So they were talking about Apple maybe making a tool. Before, you used to be able to import your Spotify playlist to Beats Music. And when the service went live, Apple Music went live, Beats Music, you couldn't do it anymore. But before, you were able to do it. And so now you can't at all. There's no weird kind of unofficial workaround. So they're thinking maybe, and I don't know, I don't think Apple will do this, but maybe Apple would make some kind of tool that would allow you to import your Spotify playlist.
That would destroy it. I'm only a third of the way through putting all my songs on there. Check this out, though. Logan, how far are you on doing it?
I just made it to the S's before I came into work.
He's barely to S.
And how long has that been?
Since last night.
Well,
non-stop working. How many hours total?
How many hours?
2 to 3 hours so far.
Too much.
Oh, that's not that bad. I spent 2 hours and I'm third way through.
Yeah, but
I got a lot of obscure indie crap.
Yeah, you're gonna have to dig a little, and maybe even some of that stuff's not on the service. Yeah.
There is a lot of things missing, but oh well, we'll see.
So yeah, if you got iOS, you can check it out. We're waiting and seeing, which I think is an appropriate response.
So, but that brings us to our hashtag of the day, which is TD Bro. What kind of guy are you into that you would listen to Apple Music with?
I love that this is going to be a running gag. Okay, and speaking of hashtags of the day, it's time to talk about your user feedback. So we all have very short-term memories here on Tomorrow Daily because we're a daily show. About a week ago, we did a story about the climate booths at the airports that you could walk into and feel what the heat and cold felt like for your destination. And we asked everybody, what would you add to the booth to make it better? So you guys came up with some pretty good ones. Matthew wrote in and said, I'd add a smog level in the climate booth, which if you were going to a place like Southern California or Beijing, you would probably die. You'd need a mask. Sometimes the smog here. Innovation Required wrote in and said, climate pods to experience how future climates would look like and feel like if global warming or climate change continues. That, I think, is really fascinating.
That's an incredible one, yeah.
Using your noodle.
Also very doom and gloom.
Very doom and gloom, but, maybe a good wake-up call for some people because they don't realize, it is very much like a slow burn, no pun intended.
Can you imagine going into that at the airport and then you're sitting on the plane all depressed?
Oh, it's all going to end, I know.
Why am I even...
Just getting real nihilist. Yeah, why am I here? Justin wrote in and said, staple destination food generated instantly would be a cool idea. I like that. Yeah. Destination, a little snack, maybe a little bite on a amuse-bouche. And then Rick wrote in and said, create mini city climate boxes of famous cities of the world. Walk around the Big Apple, feel its climate too. It'd be like a mini attraction. So you'd go in. Maybe you could do that with projection. You have to smell the
garbage in New York too.
Maybe they do that with projection technology and smell-o-vision.
Yeah,
so it's
like you go. They put rats running around too, like in New York.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And then Reed wrote in and said, you'll like this. It's missing game show mode. Go in and guess the randomized climate origin, and you get a free trip.
That's pretty cool.
Like that. Big fan of that. And then Jesus wrote in and said, the booth should include a robo-bartender to fix me the traditional refreshing beverage of my destination. That'd be, a Bartesian.
Let's party.
Pretty good. But yeah, so you guys had some really good stuff for TD Climate. And now it's time for our very last piece of user feedback, which is always our photographer of the day. Friend of the show, Lance, wrote in to us. Lance said, hi all, I never see Lumia photos, insert K's witty joke from here in Las Vegas, which hope to see you all at DEF CON. And he said, photos inside my house and outside using a Lumia 820 with Windows Phone 8 and Windows 10 phone. So thanks, Lance. And so he sent a picture of his cat, which that looks like an ad for cat food. Fancy feast.
That is the most adorable. Look, that is such a cat reaction. What in the world is this?
I know.
He's looking at he'll stare at that for hours.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's really well lit.
Really well lit. And the Lumia does take really nice pictures. I have to say, the Lumia, I'm surprised we don't get more pictures in from Lumias because they really do take fantastic photos. I'll be curious to see when and if Windows does a Windows 10 phone, like a flagship that comes along with Windows 10, if we're going to see a kind of an uptick in Windows 10 pictures. I think we will. But yeah, really great picture, Lance. High fives to you. If you want to send in any story ideas or you want to send in your photography, email us tomorrow@cnet.com or find us on social media, probably Twitter @TomorrowDaily.
Yeah, you can follow us and hear all our dumb thoughts on our personal Twitter accounts. I'm @Khail Anonymous and she's @Ashley Izquierda.
That's right. And if you want to send anybody, friends, loved ones, frenemies, enemies to the show, just send them to tomorrowdaily.com. All right, guys, that's it for the show today. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new docket of weird, wonderful science, fact, and science fiction. But until then, be good humans. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.